Oh no, the boomers are going to die for no reason. What a completely unheard of concept. I remember the first time I came across Polygon Pictures back in around 2014, where the anime section of Netflix was a new enough thing for Irish people, so I felt the need to check out what stuff they had that I'd never seen before. One of the shows they had that caught my eye almost immediately was this space adventure series called Knights of Sidonia. I put it on and dropped it around 2 minutes in because why the fuck is it all bad CG? This bad CG, I would later realise, is the aesthetic that Polygon Pictures want to achieve. This was an intentional decision. I've had my fair share of fully CG anime since Knights of Sidonia, some good and some we don't talk about. With Polygon Pictures consistently hitting that middle ground, consistently adapting beloved series into mediocrity over and over again, consistently utilising their talent to the most passable extent possible. It's never outright ruined a show, but at the same time there hasn't been anything that Polygon Pictures did up to this point that I found particularly engaging. The biggest problem I have with the studio, I'd say, aside from using fully CG works, they like to adapt a gritty, edgy material into the style. To say that Polygon Pictures aims for a desaturated colour palette would be the understatement of the century. A black hole would have more colour than one of their shows. Yet, for some reason, despite this shitty Godzilla movie doing absolutely nothing differently from the typical Polygon Pictures production, I had an absolute blast while watching it. And I think that's because Godzilla is at its best when it takes all of its just retarded elements seriously. There is the occasional moment where mentioning elements like Mechagodzilla in such a grim and serious tone can't help but come across as clunky, even if it is a nice nod to the beloved franchise. But I think that what this tone adds does more than justify these moments. These CG Godzilla movies take place 22 years after humanity lost to the ferocious beast, gave up, and ran away. Now is the time when they strive to reclaim their homeland from the monsters. Their home planet, which has been abandoned for almost 20,000 years because time works differently in space. Before humanity fled, literal aliens helped them come up with their failed fighting tactics, gave them technology to build spaceships, and eventually joined the crew and even started spreading their own space religion. This take on the Godzilla franchise is obviously weird, but more than that, it's completely new. The film thrusts humanity into the position where they already tried and failed to overcome the King of Monsters, and they're still defiantly trying to fight again, thus staying true to the theme of hope in dire circumstances that makes the series so fun to return to. The film is far from perfect, but considering how low my expectations were when going into this, the end result did nothing but shock and delight me as a viewer. I haven't seen the other two films in the trilogy as of this recording, and won't be reviewing them unless there's something I feel like I have to say about them, in which case here. What I will say is that, unlike a certain other film, I actually want to continue. I actually want to watch more and see what happens to the crew as they're forced to learn more about what their home planet has become. God damn it, I really liked this film. 7 out of 10. This video is the 11th in a series of daily uploads where I review some movies I missed over the last decade in the hopes of making the ultimate anime of the decade list. If you have any suggestions for any anime, film or TV released from 2011 to 2020, please tell me in the comments. I want to find out about it now as opposed to after I make the big ass video. Also, I'm going to say some cringy sellout shit. And tomorrow's video is My Hero Academia The Two Heroes if you want to watch it in advance. See ya then.